Hello, my name is Vasil Stefanov from Novinite.com, an English language website in Bulgaria. And I will briefly talk about the several key points in Bulgaria's pre-election campaign. What are the central topics that are key to the debate here before the European elections? And the main is the energy debate. This is, of course, very important through the Ukraine crisis, because this makes Bulgaria very vulnerable towards delivery of gas from Russia. If it reaches a stage where the conflict makes the delivery of gas jeopardizes it, so it's very much on the agenda of all the main political parties and independent candidates. This is also linked to the South Stream gas pipeline, which will pass through Bulgaria and several other EU countries. And this has been topic over the last few months, not just before the elections, but starting maybe November, December, since the European Commission recommended the countries that are part of this pipeline to renegotiate their terms with Gazprom, with Russia. So different parties have been using and debating about this on how it will affect Bulgaria. Of course, this has to do with sanctions through the Ukraine crisis as well. This is probably one of the reasons Bulgaria has been a little more cautious in its position about the EU's sanctions towards Russia, because they're very concerned about what implications this will have about the energy. And the other energy topic that has resurfaced a lot in the last weeks is the electricity companies in Bulgaria, since the government has started a crackdown on the three main foreign electricity delivery companies. Yesterday, the Bulgarian energy watchdog submitted an audit report which found 2,690 infringements of the companies in different administrative paths. And this is yet to be analyzed how it will affect the election campaign. Some experts say that this is a pre-election move by the government because electricity prices are very big vote winner in Bulgaria. And as you might know, in last year, the previous government of GERB party in Boyko Borisov was ousted after popular protests, which started exactly because of very high electricity and heating prices. So this is one topic that is very important and very key for the parties, and how they will play it could have a big effect on the votes. More domestically, the income inequality has been a very big agenda, and especially on more populist parties like the far right and some of the newly formed parties, which is gaining ground. It's called Bulgaria Without Censorship. It's a party run by a former journalist, and basically they have been promising people in the smaller towns, regions, increase in minimum salaries to Western European levels, tackling unemployment very quickly, because especially youth unemployment in the less populated, in the non-big regions is very high and growing. Of course, the mainstream parties are countering these promises of the populist parties by saying that this is impossible, that it is mainly the economic situation first that has to be changed in Bulgaria before you can promise any of drastic changes in salaries. So this is one of the topics that is always key before any elections in the past 10-15 years in Bulgaria. And of course, as the country with the lowest income in the European Union, it is always a very touchy topic. And fourth, I think, topic which has gradually receded in the last weeks, months, and I personally thought would be more central, is the issue with refugees and the refugee flow. I think recently Human Rights Watch had a critical report about Bulgaria's dealing with the refugee situation, and how, according to the organization, the government and authorities are pushing back refugees at the border Conditions in the refugee centers have also been an issue of concern for international organizations. But I think probably the reason for it being less central in the campaign is because all parties, both who have been in power before and who are right now, realize that this is something that has been not dealt with right over the past years, not just now, and has led up to this situation right now. So it's a delicate topic that they probably don't want to touch upon, not in order not to lose votes. And also, I have to say, there is quite a bit of a negative attitude through, of course, a lot of the local media as well that are portraying for refugees, and it has gained ground among popular thinking, I would say. So I think parties are rather not too keen on talking about this for these reasons.
And regarding the first problem, the problem of energy, actually the gas problem between Bulgaria and Ukraine, how it affects the European elections campaign in Bulgaria?
Basically, it affects in terms of where the different parties stand on the sanctions for Russia, and where the parties stand on whether the project South Stream should go ahead or should not. To be honest, from what I hear and what I've been hearing over the past year, even a lot of the main parties have themselves, so to say, kind of had contradictory opinions on this, and are kind of flowing with how the situation is going. And I personally would say that neither of the main parties, GERB or the socialists, have had a clear stance on this and have gained a lot of ground because through this issue. But that's, of course, just my personal opinion. But I think, yes, it's a very key topic, but it's one that we cannot yet place on which side it would help more.
And in general, what about the European elections campaign in Bulgaria, and which results are you predicting?
I would say probably the status quo would rather remain. In the recent sociological agency reports show a very close margin between the former ruling GERB and the current ruling Bulgarian Socialist Party, both within a margin of 1 or 2%. In terms of the campaign, these two parties are really hitting hard at each other for a lot of topics, and it is fair to say that the language has been not so much a European one, but a lot about domestic scandals, frauds, and I think it's something that is pulling back a lot of voters, and we could expect to see a rather low voting turnout because of this. And this is not something that is just now. This is something that has been happening in the last 2-3 election campaigns, both domestically, that a lot of the campaign language is very, very harsh, and it's about basically hitting the opponent, not so much about what they would want to see as a future of Europe. So I think that is pushing back a lot of voters, and we will not see a very high turnout in these elections.
Okay. Thank you, Mr.